L&D Design. My name is Lene and I am half of L&D Design along with my fabulous husband David. Today we have some more fall DIYs for you. I really hope that you're not getting sick of fall DIYs, but 'tis the season and we love fall and we love Christmas even more, so stay tuned for that. But we really love decorating our home for fall. We love the colors and we love the warmth that it brings to our home. So we are in the process of updating or elevating a few of our decor items that we use quite frequently in our fall decor, but we want them to look just a little bit more higher end and just a little bit more sturdy and maybe extravagant. So that's what we're going to be doing today. All of the products I use in this video are going to be linked down below, along with some recent videos that we have made, as well as all of our contact information, Facebook, Instagram, our email address, and our P.O. box. If you want to send us anything, that would be fabulous. And if you don't want to, that's okay too. I understand we're a new channel. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our DIYs or home renovations or furniture building, repurposing, any of our videos in the future. So if you're interested in seeing some more fall decor, then stay tuned, keep watching. For this project, we're gonna be using this sign. This is from Dollar Tree. I think I got this last year or the year before. It's a really beautiful sign. I love the detail on it. I'm not a huge fan of the glitter. I just don't really prefer glitter. So I might think about covering this up. But I just wanna make this sign look a little bit more high end. So I'm gonna add a frame to the outside edges. And to do that, we're gonna be using these big yardsticks. These are from Menards. I've used these in one of my projects before. We're gonna be using these and we're gonna be cutting them down to make our frame pieces. So all I did was I used just a Dollar Tree ruler and I measured the side of my sign. Since it's a square, all the sides are the same. So I measured the side of my sign, and then I just took a dry erase marker and I just marked where I need to have my measurement so that I can mark my yardsticks. I'm then gonna take my yardsticks into the garage and I'm gonna use my saw to cut them. And then I'm gonna give them a nice sand. Like I've said on a video before, you really have to give this a nice sand because this is kind of grooved in here and you don't want these words on your frame. Now that I have all of my sticks cut and I've given them a sand, I wasn't too worried about getting all of the color off. I really just wanted to smooth out that imprint that the lettering leaves. Now I'm going to paint them all. I think it's going to be easier to paint all the pieces separately before I start assembling it around my sign. I'm going to be using the Waverly chalk paint. This is in the color Truffle. And I'm just going to paint all of the sides, edges, and everything. Ready to put the frame on my sign. If you can hear the air conditioner in the background, I'm so sorry. It gets so hot in this room and I was sweating to death, so I had to turn it on. So I'm sorry if it's loud. We have all our pieces. I just went through and I distressed the edges. I didn't distress this part because I didn't want any of that green to show through, but I did just distress the edges a little bit. So now we're going to start putting our frame around our sign. I removed that jute hanger that was on there, and then I have 2 twine bows I'm going to use to cover up those holes. I have my hot glue gun, and then I just have some extra glue sticks. I'm sure I'm going to need more than one for this. You can do wood glue with this or super glue. I am just choosing to use hot glue because it's easiest for me, so that's what I'm going to use. So my frame pieces are all glued on, but I'm having a little bit of gapping here. I think I put these too close together, which made a larger gap on this side. So what I think I'm going to do is I am just going to add some jute rope around the inside, and then I'm gonna go over these corners so that hopefully my jute rope will hide those gaps that I have and make it look a little more polished. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the corner pieces first, and then I'm going to run that jute cord around the middle. if you can see, the back doesn't look super pretty, but that's okay. I feel like it's nice and sturdy. I'm okay with the back not looking perfect. The front, I think, looks pretty good, minus all of my glue strings, and I do feel like the twine did help cover up some of my gaps, and it also gave it a little bit more stability. So now I'm going to add my jute bows to the top to cover those holes. And then I have a few embellishments that I want to add in the bottom. Since this frame is so thick, I want something that pops out a little bit and it's not just flat. Here are some of the items we're going to be using. I have this Live Simply sign, and this is from JoAnn's. I got this on sale. It was part of their summer. I think it's 70 to 80% off. It was originally $29.99, and I got it for right around $8. I really just like the sturdiness of it, but I don't love the look of it. I want it to turn into a fall sign. So my plan is I'm probably going to keep this outside frame the color that it is, just because I think it looks okay. It's kind of like a bluish gray, and I think it'll go well with our farmhouse decor. But I am going to paint the inside, and then I'm going to paint this right here. It kind of sets up a little bit. And then my plan is to add this red truck right in the middle there. This red truck pick is from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to be, excuse my foot, I'm just going to be taking the red truck off of the pick and then adhering it to the front of the sign once everything is painted. And then we're going to add some fun embellishments. So let's get to painting our sign. I'm going to add some pumpkins to our sign. I got these from Dollar Tree. They came in a pack, and this is all of the pumpkins from the pack. And I just stuck them in this piece of Dollar Tree floral foam. I am going to use this floral foam later, but I wasn't really worried about the small holes. I just wanted to be able to have them dry without disturbing the paint. I then mixed up some paints. I wanted some more pastel colors, more muted colors, but I didn't want just completely neutral pumpkins. But I'm not a fan of the super bright orange, nor am I a fan of the black speckling on it, so I wanted to change these pumpkins up a bit. So I did mix some paint. Basically, I took Apple Barrel Harvest Orange, I took Apple Barrel Key West, and Apple Barrel English Ivy Green. And I added a little bit of the Folk Art chalk paint in White Adirondack to each one of those colors. And then with the Key West color, I wanted it to be a little more toned down and not so vibrant. So I added the tiniest drop of jet black in there as well. And I just mixed those up. So now I'm going to start painting my pumpkins. I'm going to try and do an equal number of each of these colors. As you can see, I'm at my desk. As I'm waiting for my pumpkins to dry and my sign to dry, I decided to go ahead and pull this off of the pick. It was one of those yard picks that you get from Dollar Tree. And I just want to add some detail to these items. So on the red truck, what I really want to do is do just a little bit of distressing around the edges, just to make it look a little bit more weathered and a little less shiny and new. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take this arrow. This arrow came on the same pick with this red truck, and it just had glitter all over it. I really just don't love glitter. On my eyes, I love glitter. On my craft projects and my decor, I do not even for Christmas. So I just took a 220 grit sandpaper, and I just went over it lightly to get some of that glitter off. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to paint this that same blue color that we used for some of our small pumpkins. I think that will just bring that color in to the sign at the top. And then I may put pumpkin patch on the front. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and paint this, and then I'm gonna add some distressing to this. I'm also thinking about adding some distressing to the frame part that I did not paint, but we'll see how I feel about that once everything comes together. We are ready to start putting some things on. I do have some spots that I need to touch up with paint, but I want to get most of my stuff on to see where I really need to touch up and where is going to be covered up. If you hear my dog violently chewing on her food in the background, I apologize. She eats all throughout the day instead of just eating it at one time. So here's my sign. I just took that jute hanger off of the top because it does have some sawtooth, they're called sawtooth hangers. I think they're sawtooth hangers on the back. So we are going to start with the bottom. I want to make a little bit of a pumpkin patch on the bottom. So I have this Excelsior from Dollar Tree. And my plan is to just put a little bit of hot glue there in the seam and just kind of place some of this on just very sporadically. I'm just going to pull it out. I have not used this. I usually use the moss, but I kind of like the way this looked a little bit more kind of hay-like instead of really kind of summery green grass. So we're gonna try this and see how this goes. It's definitely a different texture from the moss, but we're gonna see what happens.
Here we go again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to.
So I can already tell I'm gonna have to layer this a lot. I'm gonna have to pick little parts off, and that's okay. But I'm just gonna sweep some of this out of the way while I let that hot glue kind of set up. So then I can go through and kind of pull off and then add more. For now, we are going to add our red truck to the middle. I just did some slight distressing to the very edges. So I'm just going to place this right in the middle, and I'm just gonna hot glue it down. Back. Sorry about my dog. The grass is on. It was an absolute pain. I don't know that I will ever work with this again. I thought moss was messy. This was much worse. So I cleaned up as much as I could. I kind of just gave up. I'm hoping my pumpkins will disguise it a little bit. So what I did with my pumpkins is I cut the stems a little bit. They were just too long for me, and then I painted each of the stems on all of the pumpkins brown. And then I just kind of cut them off of their little picks, and I left a little bit so that I can kind of sneak it into the grass and hot glue it that way. So I'm gonna start placing all these on.
If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. 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 I can help you.
Now I'm gonna add to the top. So many glue strings. I'll have to get those off later. So I'm going to do my arrow off center a little bit, and then I just made this bow while I was messing with all of this grass. If you guys want to see how I make bows, just let me know and I can make them on camera. I am not exactly an expert bow maker, so I don't really know that I would be much help, but I just used some burlap from Walmart. This ribbon is from Dollar Tree, and then I just used some jute in the middle, and I'm going to attach that to the top here just so my sign is kind of balanced. I'm trying to decide if I want it here or if I want it a little bit at the top. I'm thinking I want it a little bit at the top. I have these pumpkins from Dollar Tree. They're a little bit bigger than I wanted to use, but it just looks like it's missing something, so I'm gonna add a few of these in. Plus I think it'll bring in the white and kind of ivory pumpkins that are in our sign.
Here we go again. Time is up and I'm calling up my friends. Ain't no wonder why, ain't no wonder I too. Here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. I can help you out. I can help you out. I can help.
For our next DIY, we are going to be using this sign from Dollar Tree. I just took off the hanger and the tag, and then I also pulled off the leaf and the raffia bow. I'm not going to be keeping the raffia bow, but I am going to be keeping the leaf. I really like it. And I am going to actually paint the back side of this because I don't want to mess with all of the glitter, and I want to change the wording on this to something I think my son's actually really going to love. So I'm just going to flip my piece over. I'm going to paint the back of this. I am going to do an orange color. I mixed a color here. I took Apple Barrel Harvest Orange, and I mixed that with the White Adirondack from Folk Art chalk paint just to make a really pretty pastel orange. So I'm going to paint the entire pumpkin, but the stem, I'm going to paint that in the color Truffle by Waverly. This is chalk paint.
I can help you out. 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 I can help you out.
So I've already done 3 coats on the main part of my pumpkin, and I am still getting some kind of bleed through from that color underneath. So to help with that problem and to hopefully give our pumpkin some dimension, I'm going to be going in with Apple Barrel Khaki, and I'm going to use the same brush I used for the orange. I'm just going to wipe it off a little bit, and I'm going to try to make some texture in here to, like I said, help give it some dimension, but hopefully help disguise the fact that I don't want to do 17 coats.
Look, if you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to.
So as you can see, I have my pumpkin here, and I did some freehand handwriting. Now I do not like my handwriting. I really wanted to use my Cricut, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. So we're gonna attempt this, and hopefully I don't mess it up too bad, because I had to do this like 5 times, and I'm still not in love with it, but we're just gonna go with it.
If you don't wanna change, I can help you out. I can help you out.
I have my wording on. I'm not in love with it, but that's okay. This is handmade, and I'm not going to pick it apart, even though I could find many things I don't like about it. I still have to erase all the pencil lines, but I'm waiting for it to completely dry. And the reason I did Hello Pumpkin, not just because it's a pumpkin, but I actually call my son Pumpkin, and he loves it, and I'm going to take it because he is 14, and in a few years he'll be like, Mom, please don't call me Pumpkin. But I have this coffee cup that says Good Morning Pumpkin, and he always jokes like, you can't ever get rid of that cup because I'm pumpkin. So I just thought that he would really like this. I'm going to add some jute to my stem, but I'm not going to go all the way up. And then I'm going to reuse that leaf that came on this original sign. And then I just pulled this leaf off of a Dollar Tree garland, and I'm just going to layer them on top of each other.
I can help you out. I can